And for this interview, I'm connected with Chile. It's a long way, it's a great country. And we have here the two curators, Nicolas Diaz Bejarano and Linda Schilling Cuellar. I'm okay with the pronunciation. The title
Yes.
of this project, of this work they presented as a country at Biennale Architettura in Venice is entitled Reflective Intelligence. And it's a really a big topic, also because we are all overwhelmed with the issues, but not only issues, but also different thoughts around the phenomenon of AI. I will start asking you a few questions about your training and skills and experiences because I found really interested your professional profile. Um, it's up to you. I will start with the lady, with Linda.
Thank you. Well, my training, as well as Nicolas and Serena's, we're all architects, but we've done different specializations. I went into urban design at some point, and then right now I'm doing my PhD at the Center for Research Architecture, and the topic of my dissertation has to do with environmental protocols and specifically the spatial arrangements in environmental deliberation spaces. So you could say that that's my niche expertise. Nico?
Yeah, like Linda said, I'm an architect as well, and I'm doing my PhD on data centers, environmental impacts, studying the case of Quilicura in Chile.
So, how was uh, your uh, your focus? How you start focusing on the theme given by Carlo Ratti, intelligence, natural, artificial, collective, to then elaborate the concept of Chile Pavillon. So tell me about the genesis of your work.
Mm, well, both Linda and my research connects through the environmental impacts of AI or data centers. Although Linda doesn't study data centers as an object or as a case, she researched the participatory spaces surround their environmental impacts. So since the Biennale called different types of intelligence, the artificial, the collective, the natural, uh, well, we studied the artificial intelligence, but how others intelligence intertwine in these participatory spaces. So I was working with communities from Quilicura who are resisting this deployment of this infrastructure while the government is trying to promote the AI deployment. So it was like I mean, the Biennale was a direct call to our research topics. I mean, we didn't have to think twice, though. Right. So bringing the data center in the center of the conversation was trying to also think through the architectural means, because we were starting to study this Chilean methodological framework that is called the round table or working table, mesa de trabajo, that I don't know how to transpro. It's quite difficult to
Tavolo di
translate.
lavoro.
Oh, yes.
Indeed. So
Yeah.
basically, the methodology invites all type of actors to discuss an urgent matter. So we were thinking, instead of focusing on the data center itself, why don't we focus on this idea of a table and try to bring together all the narratives surrounding the AI deployment in Chile? And I
That's
believe that.
that's really important to release the news and the issues related to the use of AI. Personally, I'm deeply into it for my work, and it's unbelievable on how much energy is consuming for for the storage, for the processing of this kind of uh, machines. And so it seems that Chile is one of the most the leading protagonist of the use of materials they use to create this kind of technology. Could you, Linda, tell us
Yeah,
something more about this topic?
yeah. As Nicolas said, we presented the idea of using as a case study the data centers, but since this is an architecture biennial, we were discussing this like public policy methodology, the round table, the work table, la mesa, la tavolo de
Il
trabajo,
lavoro?
di lavoro. Um, and what was very surprising to us that was that the public that came to visit the pavilion wasn't fully aware of not only the resource consumption data centers consume basically, but also the look and feel of the buildings itself. The picture that's behind Nicolas, it's one of 25 scaled models of the data centers that are placed in Santiago and in a region nearby in Valparaiso. So it was also an exercise to show the architectural typology of a data center, which for many people is kind of like a black box. You imagine it to be a large warehouse, but footprint-wise, they vary. And that's what is most problematic for the communities in Quilicura, for example. It's that they don't have any idea of how these buildings are going to look like, how they're going to interact with public space. So it's a discussion that it's twofold. One has to do with the resources, the infrastructure uses, but at the same time, its materiality and the space it takes up in real space, basically.
So it's
And
there is this kind of duality from exposed by the government, the positivity of the introduction of AI, and on the other hand, to make the people aware of what it means to have such a huge footprint on a
Yeah,
territory. Maybe here
yeah,
in
that's
Italy,
correct.
maybe here in Italy we can't perceive it, but Chile has this kind of physical impact on the territory. And
Yeah, it's quite problematic. And when during the opening days of the Biennale and 2 days after the opening for the press and stuff, we realized that many people were not even aware the large footprint data centers can actually take, and many other countries that are also facing the impacts of data center infrastructure because, for example, they take up a lot of electricity, such is the case of Ireland. They don't have the access to the environmental impact assessments companies have to file in front of the government to get environmental permits. Chile's case is quite unique in that sense because we as the public have access to all of these reports, and that's actually how we were able to conduct our research.
so you put
and
on these, you represented through this table and this pavilion to the public, the how you connect presenting these researches to the public. What was your main abilities in engaging the public to explain this topic? How could you represent the issue?
that's why we came up with another intelligence proposal, because we were deeply obsessed with water, but the idea of reflection as a dual meaning, because to reflect is to think about a situation, but also water has this reflective capacity or material capacity. And so what we wanted to do was to invite all the assistants to sit at this water table and to reflect about, and not only Chile case, but every country has to have this type of discussion, how this AI or this inevitable technology will be deployed and through what means, and what are the actors that are discussing or not. So that's why the main, and you can see on the pavilion, it only has this 16 meters long table that reflects a video where you can see all the testimonies of different actors, politicians, local communities. Also, we enact the water to talk in a sort of a speculative way, and also bring forward the sounds of the data centers or this technology. And you can see that when you sit, all these conversations that have taken place in Chile, none has spoke about the building itself. So when you sit at the table, you you don't see the buildings. So you listen to this conversation, and then the idea is that you will be surrounded with all the 25 models to start opening the box of this infrastructure architecture. So that was basically the strategy.
And which were the main challenges you have to cope with to realize the pavilion in Biennale?
The
Well,
main
there are
one,
many.
yeah, go ahead, Linda.
Well, it's since we were so set in using water inside the pavilion to design for water and to design for an experience which is this atmosphere of a green light, of the table of water, of the humming of the buildings, and this audio recording that it's the video narration. I think it's to allow those three things to come together, each not overpowering the other, was like the main challenge. So basically, the week before the opening, we had to fine tune each of those aspects of this atmospheric design that we wanted for the pavilion. So it would convey to the audience that you're not just looking at a video, but you are entering a space where this topic dominates each aspect of what you're experiencing while you walk through the pavilion.
And upon your, you wanted to say anything, Nicolas?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think another challenge, it was to all these 25 buildings is the first time that they were modeled for the first time, because we had to delve in the old environmental assessment reports. So basically, it's not that we downloaded the CAD files or the Revit model and we then 3D printed, but was trying to decipher. And it's very interesting also this process of trying to translate a very engineering or a very environmental assessment report that not doesn't speak about the building itself, but all the technology surrounding it, and try to reconstruct the buildings. So also that was very challenging within the time frame as well.
Why do you consider pivotal to present at Biennale Architettura this kind of project and work, especially
I
related
think
to AI that is so hearable everywhere and visible everywhere? Everybody, if you switched on the TV or you surf internet, and there are thousands and thousands of different messages on AI, and
I think one of the main reasons why we decided to bring this topic was, well, first, me, Nicolas, and Serena had been working in and around these issues for a while. The open call that the government, we participated in a competition. Our proposal made sense for the larger curatorial statement that Carlo Ratti had introduced to the Biennale this year.
Very
And
good.
also because our the way we see it is architecture is always spoken about in terms of buildings, but the social environmental conflicts that those buildings provoke or generate in wherever they're placed, it's rarely discussed, if ever. So out of all of the Chilean representations at the Biennale, the Architecture Biennale, this is the first one that through a building is speaking also about the socio-environmental conflicts buildings like this entail.
And also I think it's one of the few projects and pavilions that were very critical about AI because we don't we wanted the visitor reflect on this technology to spark like a critical position because most of the Biennale was welcoming the technology as a techno solution in magic potion to solve all the issues about climate change. But at the end of the day, it creates a paradox that what if all these machines, technology is drying up the water that an algorithm want to manage more efficiently. So those were the questions we wanted to propose and trying to bring and also we wanted to distance ourselves about the numbers and try to bring all the embodied experience of communities, of politicians, because it's not about Gemini consuming five droplets of water. It's about all the territories where these data centers are impacting local communities. So it was more interesting to bring forward this in Ana Biennale that celebrated the technology and we were trying to make things counterpoint around this narrative.
Yeah, to stress the situated impacts was very important for us. And that's why also there's a lot of content in the video that's related, that's actually the communities talking about their struggles, trying to understand what happens to their neighborhoods when infrastructure like this gets built. There's a very strong component in the video that has to do with interviews with communities, like the ones in Quilicura and other places that was very important for us.
Could you remind to the audience where your pavilion is located and a few information, practical information for the people that has the possibility of visiting your pavilion until the 23rd of November? And so can you describe where he is located exactly and where?
The pavilion is located at the Arsenale. The Biennale has two venues, the Giardini and the Arsenale. Ours is in the Arsenale. I don't remember the specific street, but
No, it doesn't matter. Everybody knows Venice is not by street, partially by street, but is from area. And talking about the Biennale, everybody knows the various areas, so it's very easy to understand, but it's in one of the main areas, and also I think you had to work and to deal with the difficult sometimes a difficult way of constructing things in a city like Venice. So that's why I asked you the challenges of realizing something that is absolutely, I like the visual impact. I like the press kit you send me and the cut and the visual you realize with this, because it's really evocative. I think allows people to think and to watch these work and to realize in depth what you are meaning, and this is important. So also,
Yeah,
okay, go on.
I'm sorry. No, yes, you said one of the challenges was actually uh, finishing up the research and the design and the coordination for the building of the pavilion, because Chile takes a long time to decide who will represent them at the Biennale. So we had almost 2.5 months tops from the
Wow.
moment it was announced to the day of the opening. So yes, that was a challenge, but I believe that many other countries also face challenges like that.
The work in progress. We like this kind of ability in proactive way of realizing architectural and concept project. And the other thing I saw while I was reviewing the press kit and reading your paperwork is the credits and the team you have with you working on this.
Yes, we were very lucky. We had the support of a lot of young architects that jumped into the project to help out and to collaborate. There were many collaborators, students, early career architects, and yeah, there's no way we could have done it without the support of all of the collaborators, as well as the people that we engage creatively with, from the artist, the designer, the people that did the graphic identity for the pavilion.
And also, one of the greatest features of the pavilion is that we have a 16 meters video long support that it's impossible to replicate. I mean, when we have presentations, it's impossible to showcase a 16 meters long video because it becomes very small. So it's a
Yeah.
unique experience, and how to reproduce it is we have to rebuild the table. It's the only medium to showcase it. So basically, the invitation is that if you sit on the table, you will be able to experience the video, because even if we upload it on YouTube, you cannot replicate this idea. Because imagine yourself, and it happened when we were there. If you sit on top of the table, you have a different experience of the video than if you sit in the middle, or each position bring forward another experience of the video, because it's way bigger. It surpasses your eyesight.
Perfectly well
So
done. So at this point, I have to thank you to be here with me on the Italian way. Nicolas Diaz Bejarano and Linda Schilling Cuellar from Chile. Thank you very much. And
thank you, Simona.
Thank you very much.
I hope to see you in person one day. Stay tuned. Simona Cochi, The Italian Way.